favorite players traded.
Oh my gosh, how could you get rid of that guy?
They also get mad when you don't sign a free agent.
How can you just sit there while the other teams pass us by?
They are the worst fans in sports.
And that is right. We are the worst fans in sports. We are back live, better than Ezra, right here on the YouTubes and the Facebook live streaming.
Yeah, you didn't freeze.
I didn't freeze this time. We're back. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
How's
Good.
your
Tired
week been?
today.
What's that?
I'm tired today. I don't know why.
I'm tired all the time.
All the kids are sick.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I'm trying to not be.
Yeah, so you'll be sick in about 24 to 48 hours.
Hoping not, but what do you got to lose? Say, how was the weekend?
How are things?
Thingy. They're very thingy.
Yeah, uneventful at the moment.
Great. All baseball was canceled all weekend. Oliver was supposed to have a tournament, a 2-day tournament that was canceled. David's game was canceled
Because he's still yet to play a game.
He's yet to play a game. He has 4 games that have all been canceled. We played 3.5 innings in 4 games.
Jesus, are they going to make them up?
3 of them have been rescheduled for July. So lots of hot baseball.
Mm-hmm. Hyperthermia.
Hyperthermia. Did you know that therm is the Greek? We were having this whole conversation earlier. You guys don't care. Yeah. So relaxing weekend. Really didn't do much. I got a pedicure, which is great.
I saw pictures of that.
Yes. Well, you didn't see pictures of my tootsies.
No, I just saw a picture of your shoulder.
Yes.
Looking over your shoulder.
Yes. But if you've not gotten a pedicure, I just suggest getting one. Getting them relatively like on a regular basis. Who cares? Well, you pay people, so who cares what your feet look like? Here's the thing. As I've gotten older and heavier around the middle, it's harder and my hips are not very flexible. Really never have been or haven't been for a long time.
Yep.
So
I know where you're going with this.
It's hard for me to cut my own toenails.
Yep.
So doing a pedicure every month or two.
I thought you were gonna say hard to see my own feet, so who cares?
Well, the issue is with long toenails, like you get ingrown toenails. And you rip your socks, and if you have relatively tight shoes, now you could cause injury.
Hurts to walk.
So when it's harder to cut your toenails, just pay somebody to do it, man. They could be. They were speaking in they were Vietnamese because the guy that was sitting next to me was getting his toes done in a bright blue.
Ooh.
And I did not get any paint. I could have, I just didn't.
Boring.
I know. I didn't like it. There wasn't a color I wanted. And so, I think that also afforded me to get more leg massage and calf massage. See, like, it's not just your feet, dude. It's like you get the sugar scrub on your legs and they massage your legs and your feet. And yeah, man, it's if you've never been, you should go. But anyway, the guy next to me had the audacity to ask what language they were speaking. So they were speaking Vietnamese. And so I'm sure I was being made fun of in Vietnamese, but it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
I don't understand Vietnamese, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Let them make fun of me. I don't care.
We make fun of you in English.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. We make fun of you before you join the podcast each week, and you never hear it. So what does it matter?
That's exactly.
That's what I meant.
Hey, we're a podcast, right?
Yeah. What kind of podcast, Aaron?
Well, we talk about pretty much anything. But
Alex said I just jumped on and hear Mike say I got a pedicure. I thought this was a sports podcast.
There it is. Every week, Aaron says, "Oh, this is a sports podcast," because we start on. We start
with off the rails on a tangent.
Out of the gate.
Every time out of the gate.
We also haven't introduced ourselves as my name.
Our names are on the screen, man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm Mike. I am the president of the PD Pages Fan Club. Next to me is Chris, the professional uniform critic, and below me,
hey now,
what?
Easy, easy.
is Aaron AP, the special assistant.
That's me.
And he's supposed to like just assist, and like every time we say, hey, look this up, he's supposed to start looking it up, but he doesn't. So then Chris and I do it, and
Yeah, I end up looking up stuff. I've already got the computer ready, so if you need me to look
Right on.
anything up,
I'm sure it'll happen throughout the conversation. So today, yesterday in Detroit, there was a rain out. I know this is live, so we can talk about it, but if you're hearing the audio, you're gonna be like, well, it happened yesterday or a week ago, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I get it.
it happened on 4/29.
On 4/29 at 2:40 Central Time, the St. Louis Cardinals played the first of their back-to-back doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers.
No, that was today. That was 4:30. The rain out happened on 4/29.
It's today the 30th already.
Yeah. April's gone, man.
April flew, dude.
Yeah.
Like it. Okay, so I'll restart. So on 4:30, the back-to-back doubleheader in Detroit, the Cardinals were getting rocked.
Well,
not rocked. No,
it was 1-0.
Yeah. Okay. Let me rephrase that. They weren't getting rocked because that implies they were getting like lots of hits, right? They were getting sat down.
Yeah, they were getting shut down.
Shut down. That's the word. Thank you. That's why you're here, Chris.
Yeah.
They were getting shut down by former Cardinal Jack Flaherty.
Told you, should have never gotten rid of him.
6 2/3. I think it's yet to be seen what the prospects that we got for him are going to be. So I think we're okay.
But Detroit said we know how to fix him, and
apparently
they have.
Apparently Baltimore did not.
Yeah.
He did not pitch well. But new season, new team, new people, new coaching, new mindset. I listened to an interview he did with Jim Hayes, the cat, and he was talking about how he's a little more open to like hearing things, like hearing advice and stuff.
Yeah, so he had to get to that level on his own.
Right.
So good for him. I'm not mad at him.
It's just maturity.
But in the ninth, the Cardinals actually won the game. On the winning run was by Petey Pages, a sacrifice fly, 410 feet.
For the record, his name is not actually Petey. It's Pedro,
right?
And his last name is pronounced Pies,
right? But when we went to see them in Peoria, Memphis,
Springfield,
I think that one was Springfield. Yeah,
Springfield. We went to see him in Springfield last year. We decided to call him Petey Pages, and that is stuck. So I am the president of the Petey Pages fan club because he had a 410 feet shot, 104 miles per hour off the bat to dead center in Detroit for now. But it was a sacrifice fly. He scored the second run, and the Cardinals win that game against former Cardinal pitcher Shelby Miller.
Yeah, he's been pitching really well out of the bullpen for them also.
Well, so they not including today's game at all, the second game, which last I looked it was 5-5.
7-5.
7-5 Detroit. Well, at least there's runs being scored. Not including this game, actually not including today's games at all. The Cardinals bullpen and Detroit Tigers bullpen are second in ERA in their respective leagues.
Yeah, the Cardinals bullpen, and also the Tiger. The both bullpens are pitching really, really well.
So would you call a long Petey Pages home run a Petey bomb or a Page bomb? I think Petey bomb would sound.
What do you call a long Petey Pages out?
A sacrifice fly that
fly ball
scored
caught.
Oh.
Yeah, but sacrifice fly that scored the go ahead run.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway,
speaking of pitching, Kyle Gibson, 7 innings, one earned run, 9 strikeouts.
Solid.
Yeah, he had like 2 or 3 innings. He only had 2 strikeouts, or 3, and but his pitch count was so low through the first couple innings that he was able to go some distance.
And he's given us what we need, right? Out of that, especially on a doubleheader. Yes, they had an extra day off. Ryan Helsley was lights out in that save. 3 strikeouts. It was I listened to it on the radio. When it was 1-0 late in the late innings, I was thinking, this is a loss. But they turned it around. So the no offense Cards made it happen with 2 runs.
Hey, they're almost doubling up their average runs per game in this game going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Once we start hitting consistently, first place, baby.
Are they going to actually maybe possibly make it to 6 as a serious number?
I mean, there's still some time left, so maybe.
Will it be the first time this season?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
I don't think it's that important. But yeah, so I was pretty excited to hear that. I thought we'd start with that, even though it's not on the show sheet. You guys don't get to see the show sheet. But it's the notes that we kind of compiled throughout the week. Normally it happens Tuesday afternoon. About what we're going to talk about today. And today, let's start off with, we've been talking about him. And since our last podcast, Jackson Holiday was sent down back to the
think in the last podcast, I said he is 2 weeks away from being sent down, and he didn't make it a week.
He didn't make it a week. Absolutely. So, well, he's just got stuff to work on. I think it's indicative. The Jordan Walker thing, Mason Wynn worked out. We can talk about the Cardinals having developmental problems developing players.
I mean, you did say it the correct way, but it, yeah. The thing about Holiday is they didn't bring him up, or he didn't break camp with the team,
right? And
the team outlined all these things he needed to work on. He needed to elevate the ball, like a whole laundry list of things. Hit lefties better. He was making good contact, but they laid out all these things he needed to work on. The fans of Baltimore and baseball in general weren't buying it. He comes up, and then what does he need to work on? All those things they said he needed to work on.
Yeah.
He still needs to work on, and he's only 20.
I think baseball has a problem with just rushing these people.
Baseball's made it. And how do I say this? Baseball's made it worthwhile for these teams to rush some of these guys, because now if your guy comes up and breaks camp and plays like a certain percentage of games, I don't think they even have to break camp, but if they play a certain percentage of games, they get compensatory picks, extra picks for finishing in like the top 3 of Rookie of the Year voting and whatever it is.
I think, and all the, how the players, what do they call it? Not contract time, but that there's I forget the word, but the time of playing and how that leads to free agency and how that leads to arbitration, all that stuff. I don't think it benefits the player. I think there's a rush to bring people up. We see it with Jordan Walker. Mason Wynn is doing pretty well this season, but he did not do well last season. He struggled
last, but he had a short stint.
And as it should have been, they were in last place. Bring the guy up and see what he can do. Give him some experience. I think that's totally fine.
But Colton Cowser came up. I've talked about him in the past. He's my Rookie of the Year guy in the AL. He came up last year and he struggled, like mightily struggled. He just continues to hit this year.
Who's the Yankees shortstop? Volpe?
Anthony Volpe, yeah.
Yeah, same thing. He didn't do well last year.
He hit a lot of home runs, but his average was really low. He hit a lot of home runs and stole a lot of bases. But now this year, he's elevating the ball some. He's hitting line drives, hitting for higher average. He's still got power and he's stealing bases. So
yeah, I just think
time.
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I just think that not only are the clubs anxious to get these people out there, but the fans are, and then the fans are very anxious to turn their back on them when they're not, Albert Pujols rookie season or Freddie Freeman rookie season or something, if they're not the best player ever to join your team immediately, then, fuck that guy. Right.
Mm-hmm. No patience.
No patience. There's no patience in baseball fans. And it's 162 games in a season.
Got to be patient.
You do. You do need to be patient. But, and some of these guys are never going to work out. And that's just part of the game.
But I think that, we see that, and that's the biggest BFIB complaint, right? The people that left St. Louis, the St. Louis organization, and have done well when they couldn't be more than a quad A player here. When they went to the majors, they didn't do well. So what do? We got rid of them. We get rid of them, and they perform well somewhere else. I don't think that's everyone. Obviously, Mason Wynn is doing well. Nolan Gorman,
he hits power, but he's still got some stuff he's got to work out.
Yeah. But there's the thing is, like, Donovan wasn't a prospect and he's doing well. Newt Barr wasn't a prospect. He's having a rough year this year, but he's just coming out of injury. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of there is a lot of issue with Cardinals developmental and their evaluation. Is a person ready to move up and take the next step? And are we doing the right thing when we move them up? If Jordan Walker has issues with lift and everything else, why don't we have a hitting coach that can work that with him through the big leagues? Like, I don't understand why there's always that regression almost with a lot of these guys when they get back to the big leagues.
Well, I also think,
I don't understand.
yes, he needs to elevate the ball, but I also think the pitchers in the major leagues are different than pitchers in AAA, and they know how to pitch these guys, and they have books on these guys, and they study these guys, and they know what they can't hit, and that's what they throw them. And he just drives everything into the ground. I think he's got some other issues with seeing off-speed pitches and seeing curveballs and this and that, and he's got things he's got to work on too. And I mean, I'm fine with him being back in AAA to work on them. There should be guys at the major league level that can coach through some of these things, but I just think at some point, like Holiday, he has a lot of things to work on. And the best way to do it is do it at a lower level where you can play every day and not be a detriment to your team.
I agree. I agree, but I wonder why we see, so much regression, especially in the Cardinals organization when
they make the jump.
When they make the jump, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I've always wondered that.
Makes me wonder, are they ready? Are some of them, like I said, quad A players, like they're better than AAA but not good enough for the majors? Or is it coaching? There's so many things it could be.
There is, and I mean, some of them are that quad A player, but there's certain guys that I just don't believe, and Jordan Walker is one of them. I don't believe that he doesn't have the ability.
He has the tools
at the major league level.
He has the tools. I think he just needs more time and more seasoning. What did he play? How much did he play AAA? None
before last season.
Year. You're right.
Yeah.
So I again, I think that's more of a case of the team rushing him because of injury. The same with Victor Scott. He was rushed. He was he's the only person they could put in center field. Now they have Siani in center field, who is hitting 108, but they don't care. And I was saying this at the last podcast. If you get defense at a position and your offense is good, then you can have a position or two that has offense. The problem is our offense that's supposed to be good. Brendan Donovan hitting 220, Lars Nootbaar hitting 175, Goldschmidt hitting 210, Gorman hitting 194. When they're not hitting 250, 260, getting on base percentage up, getting slugging, getting OPS, then you can't have a center fielder that's hitting 108. Now Carlson's supposed to be coming back, which might be good.
I mean, who cares?
I don't know if that elevates our offense. It
can elevate defense for sure.
It solidifies. Well, Siani's a good defender.
He is a good defender.
It solidifies things in the outfield. Can Siani then go back down or be a bench player like he's supposed to be? He shouldn't be an everyday player. So then what does that do with Jose Fermin? So until the early game today, Jose Fermin was brought up for Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker was sent down on April 24th, which was the day after our last podcast. And Fermin was hitting in AAA in 2024, 350 with a 1.108 OPS. Herrera's dropped off now, hitting 200 with a 622 OPS. Why isn't Fermin taking some of these hits? Now, he did get one pinch hit today in the first game of the doubleheader, and he was 0 for 1.
Looks like he's got 2 at bats now, so he must have hit in the second game too.
Okay, cool. So he might be.
He's 0 for 2 now.
Well, he might be in the lineup though. So
he doesn't have any walks. Let me look.
I'm here.
No walks. So it's in the 7th inning.
He pinch hit for Siani in the 7th inning.
Okay.
It's 6-7 Detroit now. But he pinch hit again. So they've taken him off the bench twice. He hasn't done anything. Not worried about that at all. What I'm saying is he's been with the big league club for over a week, and if you take his minor league numbers into account, he's the best hitter on the team, and he's been sitting. And Herrera's dropped off, and why aren't we putting Fermin in the mix more if he's performing, or if he has the potential to perform, since those are his AAA numbers, not his major league numbers. His major league numbers are 0. So Just curious.
Yeah, he should be utilized. That's a good question. My other question about that is why has Walker only played in one game in Memphis?
That is strange. You said that earlier because when we were talking about titling the show, this show is called Walker in Memphis. Walker not getting any at bats.
Well, you said
in
Walker
Memphis.
is you recommended Walker walking in Memphis, and I went to look. I was like, I wonder how many walks he actually has.
right. Which
And he has one, but he's got 4 at bats. He's played one game.
Is he
He's
hurt?
he's 1 for 4. I don't know.
That is strange. If you think you're going to send someone down to work on something,
Yeah, I would imagine that the goal would be to have them play every day.
so they could work on what they need to work on.
Yeah.
So is that another Cardinals misutilization, incorrect utilization of a player?
Mhm.
I don't know. But moving on, we were talking about Cardinals. Did you guys know their City Connect jerseys are going to be coming out in May?
I did know that. I've
May
been talking
20th.
about these for years.
And we have been potholes and bullet holes, smelling like the Bridgeton dump
And weed.
and weed. Lots of weed smell.
Now you have to explain that. You can't just say it. You guys have postulated that the Cardinal City Connect jerseys will smell like weed. I don't know how they're going to do that technology.
You can infuse weed into anything these days.
And it'll have,
no shit. I just go to the head shop. There's weed infused brownies, gummies, cookies, pillows. I mean, just whatever you want.
Just a little dab of oil, on the jersey.
and the
They make
jerseys will. The
they
jerseys
make
are going
every-
to have bullet holes in them. You said also.
That's easy. I mean, they're Fanatics Nike jerseys. They're gonna rip it anyway. So
If they're this year's jerseys, yeah.
just hang them up in the in a shooting gallery and let people
Just shoot
start,
through them.
take shots. That's easy.
So the schedule is May 20th, Monday, May 20th. They're going to tease them, and then
Yep.
they're officially announced when.
First game is May 25th. Well, they're unveiled May 20th. First game to be worn is May 25th.
And that should be a Friday, right? They're usually worn on Fridays. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So someone knows his calendar.
Well,
Or
no,
has-
Friday would be
no,
the
Friday's-
24th.
Yeah, the 25th is a Saturday.
Okay, so maybe it's Friday weekend type thing. But
Correct.
most of the City Connect stuff you see on the Fridays, and I guess sometimes on the weekends. So
Now-
cool.
Let the record show. What did yours truly, AP Special Assistant, predict the Cardinals jersey, City Connect jerseys would have? What did I predict a year and a half ago?
For the Lou,
No, that's their Cardinals slogan this year.
which
predicted
I think is going to
You
be
said the Lou.
the Lou.
Oh.
And when we podcast the day after they're announced and the jerseys say the Lou, I expect both of you to say how smart and intelligent.
No,
and,
because
and
you
hands-
thought
and
you,
hand-
because you went out on that limb.
and
You
handsome.
thought outside of the box with that one.
3 things: smart, intelligent, handsome. On the 21st.
How about you try harder?
Yeah, the Lou. Everyone calls St. Louis the Lou.
I love it. It's awesome. I'll get one.
I'm.
That's
So-
boring, and I'll be disappointed.
It'll say the Lou, and the reason I know it'll say the Lou is because their slogan is for the Lou.
And I
That's-
predicted this before they announced that slogan. By the way.
I understand. But St. Lou is, and then whatever the thing that's been St. Louis's motto for a long time. St.
could
Lou
also- It could also be
is,
just-
and then is
right.
a workplace, or St.
A
Lou
shithole.
is a shithole, or St. Lou is.
I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's yeah.
I
it's fine.
don't think, I mean, I'm sure it was passed around in the marketing department of City Hall, but I'm pretty sure if someone said, so we're running a new commercial for our new slogan, St. Lou is, get it? Louis.
Mhm.
Lou is also Lewis. You guys following me? Okay, so we got St. Lou is a place to live. St. Lou is a great place to work. Hey, Chris, what do you think the third commercial line should be? St. Lou is?
A shithole.
You're fired, Chris.
So it could also be STL. They could do just STL. That would be cool.
Also boring.
Another idea I had was you've seen the shirts that say hustle, but the STL and hustle is like a different color. What if
Yeah.
it said hustle? That would be kind of cool. Just
No.
brainstorming here.
What about St. Louis screams hustle?
All the people that drive in their Dodge Chargers and Challengers that will drive down the middle lane or even the wrong lane to pass
They're
a
not
line at a
hustling. They're just
stoplight.
in an unnecessary hurry.
Wouldn't that be also hustling?
No.
You're talking hustle like grit and grime and hustle. Like
Yeah.
that boy's got hustle. I was just thinking speed.
Yeah. That's
I
what
was thinking hustle in the context of sports.
Mm.
You don't have to be. You think Yachty didn't hustle? He was not the bastion of speed.
He hustled to the best of his ability.
Yeah, that's
all we can do.
You don't have to be fast to hustle. Ask Tyler O'Neill.
True.
So Tyler O'Neill, he's doing really well. I'm glad for him.
He's like the face of the Red Sox now.
He is, and I'm glad for him. There are people who, some of the BFIBs who are saying, well, should have never got rid of him. Fuck you. I guarantee that last year, all you said was, get rid of this bum. Trade him for a bag of balls.
Yeah, they were
Trade
the
him
same
for a
ones
bag
saying,
of balls.
Get rid of him.
Get him out of here.
Same people. I'm glad for him. He's in a contract year. He's playing out of his shoes.
Would you guys agree he's hitting a ton of home runs?
Ton? Tyler
Ton?
O'Neill?
I think he's at 9.
Yeah, he's doing well. I'm glad for him. I still say that he's probably gonna get injured and not play the whole season.
He's already been injured once in a freak accident.
Yeah, that I'm talking. My hammy or this my. And now he did say he was doing this summer. He was going to do a big core workout, so maybe he has fixed some things. Being a bodybuilder or having a bodybuilder father, maybe he has fixed some things. But injuries, we got a guy that's one of the greats, but he's never gonna be great. Is Mike Trout injured again?
So he's never gonna be great.
Or let me rephrase it. He's never going to reach the greatness that he should because of his injuries. Similar to Ken Griffey Jr.
So he's on the downside of his career anyway. He's never going to reach what he should have reached because he's played for the Angels his entire career. Like
Understood.
The only thing he hasn't done is win a World Series. And now he probably won't.
I get it, but he also can't. He can't stay healthy, man, and it's going to be a legacy. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. couldn't stay healthy either, and he's one of the best, and he's one of the coolest, and I loved watching him. But man, injuries prevented him from being what he truly could have been. He did not reach his max potential because of injuries, and I don't think Mike Trout, who's one of the best baseball players definitely in our generation, I still don't think that there's so much more potential that he could have had if he hadn't been injured as much as he is. Yes, I understand he's old, but so much more potential.
I mean, Griffey was a first ballot unanimous Hall of Famer.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but could you imagine what those numbers would be like if he didn't have all those injuries? What about Bo Jackson? Can you imagine what he would be like if he didn't break his hip?
I mean, that was a different injury. He injured himself playing football.
Well, right, but still. I feel bad for the Angels fans. I don't really feel bad for Mike Trout, but I feel bad. I guess I
feel bad for Mike Trout.
I guess I do. I guess I feel bad for him in the sense that he is, not he's not playing again. It's a game that he loves, obviously. So
my buddy Sean says he's still better than Harper. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So So
I feel bad for Trout because he's never going to win a World Series. And
he could have been traded though. He
could have been traded here.
He could have been.
There's all kinds of what ifs. Injuries are just one. That's true. That is true.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
fair,
what if
Sean.
all throughout his career.
That's fair, Sean. I appreciate
really.
I appreciate that. I'm just saying that it's a shame that we couldn't see what he could have been.
So you guys
you got a pretty good glimpse. Like I'm confident that you got a pretty good glimpse of what he was. His best years were incredible.
Okay. I agree. I'll just be quiet.
Hey,
I didn't say you had to be quiet. Come on now.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying
I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm just disagreeing.
I'm not saying he was bad.
We got off track. You guys were going to raise a point about the Tampa Bay City Connect jerseys, remember? Weren't you going to talk about
Well, I
that?
think
We
kinda
were.
got
We were.
out of order,
Well-
which is fine because Walker was at the bottom of the show sheet, and we talked about him right after Holiday.
So the good thing is about the whole show sheet is it actually allows me. I might not go in the order, but it allows me to have my thoughts written down.
You remember
know.
what's where or
Yeah.
what we had in mind.
So we were talking about the Cardinal City Connect jerseys. The conversation I was supposed to segue. That's a media term, by the way, from going from one topic to another seamlessly. I was supposed to segue to the Tampa Bay Rays City Connect uniforms, and this baseballer post says they are awesome, fire, and I couldn't agree more. I love these things. This is the best one by far. I'm going to buy the hat.
I'm a big fan of these City Connects. Best so far. I don't know,
Well,
but they are fantastic.
Which ones you go?
I had
above
this
that?
conversation with a couple. Scott Bogman from In This League. I had this conversation with him the other night, and someone else. I don't remember who it was. And we were running through them. The Chicago White Sox one I like. That says Southside.
Okay.
The Reds all black with red pinstripes.
Oh no, I do like the Reds. I know that now that you live in Cincinnati, I know you're kind of obligated to say that as a season ticket holder, card carrying Reds minor league season ticket holder fan. You are, but the Reds are pretty,
mention it.
Yeah, the Reds City Connect jerseys are pretty sweet.
The Seattle Mariners with the trident.
Yeah.
I really
like
like those.
Yeah.
So best ever so far. I don't know. I'm on the fence. They are fantastic.
Do you think the Reds or the Mariners or the Giants are better?
I'm not a huge fan of the Giants. The white with orange.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the Giants.
No.
Better.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Padres.
Like the Miami Vice looking things.
Yeah, the pastels.
No,
Padres
they're
are.
not. Those are more towards the bottom of my list. Remember, I'm a professional uniform critic.
Those were the those were the strawberry banana ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's why I'm kind of leaving this segment to you because
So
you're
I
the
was reading your
uniform
notes on these,
critic.
and some of them are interesting. We'll get into the notes about these Tampa Bay uniforms in a bit. There are some uniforms that I don't think are very good, and some are rather boring. The other City Connect jersey that I really, really, really like a lot is Pittsburgh. That says PGH and it's yellow.
Yeah, no, I like that one too.
So there's quite a few good ones.
What's the one that you can't read the logo? The Twins or the Rangers? There's one that's like it looks like it's supposed to be like an old school baseball logo. It's white with the red letter on the breast, and it looks like a square. It doesn't even look like two letters combined. Like
so
I don't.
Texas.
I think it's Texas.
It's that they just have the TX.
Oh, that's what
in
it is.
like
the TX?
Old English.
Yeah, I can't even read it. I don't even.
Yeah, it's hard to read.
Looks like a square.
It is hard to read.
Looks almost like Rho Chi. If you're a Catholic, you know what that is.
Mm-hmm. On the
so there's a lot of good ones, man. There's a lot of bad ones too. I'm not a huge fan of, again, the Padres. It's just I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I also like the Phillies that they just released a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Phillies one.
Oh,
Everybody's like, this sucks. I kind of like it.
I like the Phillies. I like the hat.
The hat, yeah.
People are upset because it's not red, white, and blue. That's the Phillies colors, red, white, and blue. Yeah, it's awesome. But the colors of the uniform are the colors of the flag.
Right.
So that Boston's are. I don't like Boston's.
No, I'm not a huge fan of Boston's. Yeah. I really do like Colorado's, the Rockies, with their.
I don't know if I remember that one.
They're green and white with like the mountains.
Mm-hmm. I'll look those up while you're talking.
And we just saw the Mets, the gray Mets ones.
I don't like.
I like them.
I'm not a huge fan. They look too much like Yankees.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah, my point for City Connect is it's supposed to be something different. Everybody's like, well, it's not red, white, and blue for the Phillies. Well, yeah, they want to do something different. You still have red, white, and blue and the regular uniforms. Like,
okay, I do like Colorado's.
Yeah, I like Colorado's quite a bit.
But what I will say about that though, it does, and people have said this about all the City Connects in comments of these posts. Excuse me. People are like, it's 40-year-old beer league softball uniform. I'll
So
be
what?
honest. I'll be honest. The Colorado one does look like like the Little League. You go to the catalogs for all the Little League uniforms you can order. It does look like one that would be in there, but it's still. Not saying it's bad, but it does kind of look like that. But I think this is the first time I've seen this one. I don't know how I missed the.
That was
boat on
last
this
year.
one.
Yeah, you must have just overlooked it. I also like Baltimore. Something about the black on black. I like.
Or it's possible that with my memory, I just
forgot.
forgot that I saw those. Yes.
But Baltimore is cool. The other one I really like a lot is Atlanta. It's a Hank Aaron era throwback kind of jersey.
Oh yeah.
I like the black on black. I don't like the Arial bold font Baltimore
The jersey
on the
yeah.
Baltimore jersey.
So what we should have done, I wish you would have told me we were going to go this in depth.
I didn't think we were.
I would have prepared graphics for all.
Yeah,
of
we would have
these,
had a picture for all of these. So
which we do
can
not have.
continue. We can continue in another episode to
That's
dive
what I'm
into Connect jerseys.
May 21st.
Sean says color shouldn't matter. It should just incorporate the city somehow.
Yep.
The Jays have a chance to do a country connect, but they will do something awful. Sean is a Blue Jays fan. He's from Canada.
Oh, Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Sean. How's the logging and
So
the
you just
gold mining up
immediately
there?
offend him. Okay.
So some of the cool things about the Tampa Bay Rays City Connect jersey, the neon colors on the pants connect to the old uniforms. The skateboarding Ray represents the same hard work and grit it takes to skate and play baseball. I guess there's a
So I didn't know there was such a huge skateboarding scene in Tampa until I read your list here.
Yeah, there's a huge skateboarding and graffiti.
I did see that video you sent me where that guy was doing all that graffiti.
Yeah, apparently that's a big thing in Tampa. Skateboard grip tape texture in the numbers and on the bottom of the bill of the hat. Say that 3 times fast. Which is kind of cool. There's a pelican on the jersey somewhere, and it's on the city flag, and it's an ode to the Florida State Negro League St. Pete Pelicans. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yep.
The cap logo looks like a ray, but it's actually the Sky Bridge.
Yeah, I did see that up close in a different picture, not one that we have posted up here.
Yeah. And then the black shirts, they're not straight black. They're supposed to look like a black shirt that's been worn by the Florida sun. So I think that's all kind of cool.
Yeah. There was a lot of thought put into that one.
There was a guy that posted, and so many people just made fun of it. And it was, I don't remember which post it was, but I've seen a dozen different posts from a dozen different places, outlets. They're talking about the City Connect jersey. And one guy wrote, I think it was the video. The video, the lady that's hired by MLB that kind of reads through and says, does the video I sent you. That's like an MLB produced video. A guy was like, yeah, way to design a jersey and then come up with a bunch of reasons as to why it connects. Are you kidding me? Do you think that they just threw all this shit together on a jersey and said, all right, well, what's the neon colors mean?
We're gonna
Chris,
say
what do you
this.
think?
Yeah, like there's no thought put into it ahead of time.
Yeah. That it was.
I mean, some of these, and I have a full list of them now. Some of them I feel like there wasn't much thought put into.
I agree.
The Brewers have a cool one. It says Brew Crew on it, light blue.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I'm a sucker for the light blue though. I mean,
Yeah.
The Rays socks are fire. Breeze says. We have to find a picture of the socks.
I saw a picture of those somewhere else. I think they're green.
I just want to look at them for my own. We're not that we're gonna put it up here because we'd have to
Mike's just gonna search it, look for himself.
Yes.
We can always go back to this conversation. There's gonna be more City Connects this year. And hey, maybe we'll get one from the Blue Jays and we can make fun of Sean.
The Yankees are not getting one. They don't want to do it.
Really? I didn't know they had a choice.
I don't think they want to do it because it's the Yankees. We've had the same uniform for how many hundreds of years.
Same reason they make their players shave.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So dumb.
Shave your facial hair. You can only have a mustache like they're out there fighting fires.
Yeah. So stupid.
So, speaking of uniforms, so the
Yeah.
whole Fanatics Nike thing, and as I've delved more deeply into this, I think the issues with supply and stuff is Fanatics' problem. But
Yeah.
the design was Nike's and MLB's.
Yeah.
The new material, the smaller letters on the back and the
Horrible.
numbers.
Horrible.
Well, you want to know the reason why the letters are smaller? Because the MLB wanted their MLB logo lower on the back of the jersey.
Really?
They wanted it bigger and lower on the back of the jersey. There's only so much room, so they made the numbers or the letters smaller.
But why? Like people don't know what they're watching.
What is
Like,
this?
oh, what is this sport that I just turned on? Is this minor league baseball?
Is this cricket?
That's
What is
idiotic.
this?
Yeah, like that's idiotic. Did
Yeah.
you see? This is a few weeks back. Speaking of Bryce Harper, he was, I guess, so sick of the new jerseys and stuff that he just busted out a jersey from last year and
Yep,
wore it during
he
a game.
did.
He did it once. I'm sure he hasn't done it again because I'm sure he got fined or
Oh,
something.
I'm sure he did.
But point made.
Okay. Oh, there they are. I do like the Rays socks. They're cool.
Aren't they green? Are they green or am I
They're
crazy?
green and they have like a ray and they have the and they gradient from like orange to yellow to green to like a teal. And they have the ray on it and they have the bridge on it. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're really cool. I'm good job, Rays. Good job.
Yep, they did a good job with them.
But yeah, what was I talking about?
Jerseys.
Oh,
So
so
We're
in 20
going back.
they're going back in 20 now. Probably the material. There it
There you
is.
go.
Thank you. Probably the material. Old lettering will be the same. The mismatched gray and the material that caused a high collection of sweat will go away. However, it doesn't happen until 2025, which
What I read, and I'm sure it'll be 2025, but it said by the beginning of 2025. So I guess there's potential to maybe get them this year.
so how many Major League Baseball players are there? 700? There's
Oh,
50.
I don't know.
40 to a roster, 40
Yeah.
times 32. Okay.
Aaron.
I don't know, like 1,200 something.
40 times 32. 1,200. Okay,
That sounds
20
like 1,200 something.
okay, so 26 men to a roster times 30.
1,280 according to Googs.
Oh, there's only 30 Major League Baseball teams, not 32. I'm praying for expansion.
Okay, so 1,280 minus.
Yeah, speaking of
80,
expansion,
1,200.
have you seen the map of like it had just Colorado and then
Yeah.
this area of
Yeah.
nothing?
Yeah, that's funny.
Like why is Colorado Rockies the only team in this area or in
Right.
this region? And they're
Yeah.
like, we need an expansion.
Salt Lake City,
Yep.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
They're
well,
getting
Vegas.
one next
The,
year.
well, the
but
move
it's
is
not an
happening.
expansion. Yeah.
So there will be another team in that area and one taken off the West Coast. What do you think? I know we're digressing again.
That's
but
okay.
hey, the uniforms are coming back to what they should be: better material, bigger letters.
Yeah. What's
those-
this one from Smash Mouth?
Oh,
Nike
yeah.
was innovating something that didn't need to be innovated. Details coming, and I guess those details have come. They're
Right.
going to, they're addressing the issues.
Hold on, could
so-
you go back to that graphic real quick?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening to what you're saying. I was distracted by that huge MLB logo on the right picture. It's so overwhelming how big that logo is.
I don't
believe
know. I don't know if it was
it's the
supposed to
same-
be
I think
bigger. It
it's
was
the
supposed to
same
be
size,
the lower.
just
It's supposed
below
to be
the neck.
lower.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the lower.
That's all I could focus on was that logo. I mean,
The
They
logo
did
They
because
need
now-
to they
but
need
now
to
it's
shrink
not
the
on the
letters
neck.
even smaller because Christian Encarnacion Strand from the Reds, they can't fit his full last name hyphenated on the back of the jersey, so it's just Encarnacion.
It'd just be a circle.
That's
around
what I
his
said.
number.
It's just a circle all the way around his back.
That's funny. But yeah, so good news for that. So I was going to digress, and then Aaron regressed the digress.
sorry.
Something like that.
I don't remember what we were talking about. So whatever. I'll listen to it. I'll listen to this podcast, and then I'll go, oh, I remember what I was talking about,
Well,
and I'll put it on next week's podcast.
we did a whole
There you go.
podcast. We did a whole podcast last week, not talking about the one thing we were going to talk about. So, I mean, it happens, Do you guys even
Yeah.
remember what that is?
I do. It was AEW
Yeah.
because we went to the AEW match, and even so, I posted a picture of, hey, we're gonna start real quick, and it was a picture of a woman sitting next to a very man spreading. I don't want to say large, but
Wide.
wide gentleman, and no one has any idea what that reference is because we didn't even talk about it at AEW, and we'll go into it another time. At AEW, we had 3 seats: Chris, Aaron, me, and I had to sit.
Well, and on the way to this show, in the car, I said, I'm just letting you guys know now I'm sitting on the end because I had to sit next to an obnoxious fan at the Battlehawks game the day before. So I called the end seat, and I'm incredibly happy I did. I looked at Mike and I said, hey, man, thanks for taking that bullet.
Yeah. So I just, the 3 of us were walking up. I was like, I you're walking up the aisle and you're kind of looking where your seat might be. And I was like, I saw the 3 seats on the end, but it was like 2.5 seats. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm not going to make Aaron always jumps on these kind of bullets. Aaron is the guy that gives up his personal safety and security and stuff. And even though it kills him because he's a very neurotic kind of guy,
Yeah.
he's always jumping on the grenade for everybody. So I just thought, you know what? I'll just do it. So I'm sitting next to this guy. He's got a staff. It's not even a cane. It's a staff.
Yeah. It was a walking stick, but it was like 5 foot tall. It wasn't a cane. It was a Gandalf staff.
Yeah, it was a shepherd's staff.
Yeah.
And I thought he was herding sheep. And he's halfway into my seat. And as soon as we sit down, I smell him. And he goes, after this match, I'm gonna get up and smoke. Okay. So by the way, there was another like 2 kids next to that group that got up like 43 times. They got up like 17. We stood half the show, but not because we wanted to. It was just because people were passing us back and forth.
Yeah.
So anyway, the reason why that picture of me of a big guy sitting next to a tiny woman on the airplane was on that was because I was that tiny woman. He was that big guy. I was in Aaron's lap almost the whole time. I like literally either my arm was in his like jabbing him in the ribs, or I had my arm around his back, around his shoulders, because I couldn't not there wasn't enough room for me because I'm not a tiny guy either.
Right.
But what a good show.
Yeah.
It was great. One of the best wrestling matches of all time happened that day.
Yep.
We can talk about it at another time.
Agreed. Let's save that for a different show.
So, last thing about baseball, Tommy Pham. Speaking of Tampa Bay,
Tommy Pham and all of these other teams, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Reds, the Red Sox, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox.
Tommy Pham's contract was selected by the White Sox, so he is going to be on the Major League squad. So,
and since
Pretty cool.
the White Sox are winning games now.
they are, which was kind of like, let's see, what are the Cardinals doing? Are they losing still?
11-6.
Oh, rough. Okay. Top of the 8th. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win this one. So they are going to be 14-16. They'll be 2 down. I predict
the White Sox haven't won that many games.
I predict they'll be 15-16 tomorrow. I think they'll win. I think they'll win the series. So the Cardinals have to go 2 of 3 against the White Sox to be at 500.
They can do that. They'll do that.
Yeah, that's doable.
But they're not. But they're playing better than they started the season out anyway.
The White Sox or the Cardinals?
Both.
Yeah, both are. But I still think the White Sox are a beatable team. They're one of the worst in baseball.
Here's the deal for everyone saying the Cardinals are doing just as bad as they did last year. That's not true. By April 30th of last year, they were 9 games out of first place, or not out of first place. Sorry, 9 games under 500. Now they're 2.
Yeah.
So
they're playing better as of late. Since last episode, they've played better.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
It was funny because you have a question. Okay. Don't forget it.
I won't.
It's funny because last episode when I said, hey, maybe they'll have momentum, and then they lost 14-1.
That was 2 episodes ago.
Oh, was it? Okay, we already talked about it.
So.
Okay.
Or it was after that game-winning home run. I don't remember if that was last week or not. And you're like, maybe momentum.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
there was
no momentum.
Oh, you know what? Since we kept the old show sheets.
Oh, you can look back. Yeah.
Momentum was lost.
Yes. Does a win like this help us provide momentum? Well, we had a really big momentum killer the next game, but then I think the momentum is with the team.
It's shifted a bit. Yeah.
I'll say the word momentum a couple more times. Momentum.
Okay, good.
Aaron, what was your question?
Speaking of Tommy Pham and 8 teams he's played for now, what's the definition of journeyman player?
Tommy Pham.
How many teams though? Like it's less than 8, right? Say somebody's played for 5 teams. They're a
Tommy
journeyman.
Pham's
they're
a
a
super
journeyman.
journeyman.
I don't think there's a hard and fast rule on what defines a journeyman.
4 teams.
Sure,
Journey-
I would say that, especially if they're not like a key player for any team.
Right. Usually journeyman you are like they played half of a season and got traded and then played a full season and then went signed somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, they just keep
And
stacking.
they,
Well,
were,
and I
and they
think-
were effective, and they were on the 25-man roster, but they just never stood out.
Yeah, Tommy Pham had a good good run with the Diamondbacks last year into the playoffs and into the World Series.
He did.
He can
But he
still
just-
play baseball. He's just an asshole.
That has to be it, right?
I think that's
Well,
absolutely it.
Sometimes
I mean, he
that goes
punches teammates over fantasy football.
sometimes being an asshole goes with being a journeyman. Look at Lance Lynn, right?
Didn't
He's
he
kind of
shoot
an asshole.
himself or get stabbed or something? Or both?
That's news to me. Anybody want to comment?
Tommy
on that?
Pham told a story about how he got stabbed once, but I don't think
Yes.
he shot anybody or
Maybe he
anybody
didn't
shot
shoot
him.
anybody, but he did some stupid shit with weapons. I'm sure of it.
Well, we all do
In
stupid
December,
shit.
in October of 2020, Tommy Pham stabbing video shows violent, bloody aftermath. He was stabbed in 2020.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I thought so.
I'm
I'm sure he did nothing to instigate that.
Did that improve his?
That's what I'm looking for.
Did that improve his slash line?
All right, this has been a wonderful, rousing.
I'm not
edition
even entertaining that.
of the worst fans of sports.
The knife,
podcast.
the knife joke, guys. It's a knife joke.
That's a stabbing joke.
Yeah, knife slash.
Okay, so
You also missed my Lance Lynn comment.
I did not miss your Lansing comment.
I did. What was it?
He's an asshole.
I said you might have to be an asshole to be a journeyman. Just look at Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn, though, has played for the teams he played for. He played a long time with those teams, except
Yeah.
the Dodgers.
Which
Well, if
He
he-
played a long
was-
time for the
he was
Cardinals.
picked-
He
he was
played a
picked up
long
from the
time for the
Dodgers.
White Sox.
If he's played for 4 teams or more, then he's a journeyman according to Chris's definition.
No, you don't listen.
I do listen. I said how
No.
many, and I was like 4, and you said yeah.
I said, sure. It could be
Yeah.
3. It could be 2. Who knows? He's
2.
played extended 2, isn't it? But he's played an extended
even
amount of
think 3.
time with, I would agree. The only team he didn't have a long stint with was the Dodgers, right?
I think you're right. I'm not. After he left the Cardinals, I liked him when he left the Cardinals. I wasn't like reading his baseball card every week.
Well, he was really good for a period of time with
Every
the White
week.
Sox.
Why would you? Baseball card
Why
every
would you do that?
He wasn't a manager.
Pham confronted people who were arguing near his car. When he asked the people who cops say it appeared he did not know to get away from his vehicle, he was attacked and stabbed in the lower back. So he just, apparently he just walked up to people like, "Why the fuck are you by my car?" And
they
then they stabbed him. Yeah.
Well, that's probably no reason to stab someone.
Not normally.
Guess it depends on where you're at.
So I think we've spoke quite a bit about baseball over the last 53 minutes. So why don't we
have?
why don't we move on to you mentioned them earlier, Chris. The reason why I had to sit next to Big and Stinky at AEW was because you sat next to Big and Stinky at the Battlehawks game.
He wasn't big. He was just obnoxious
Oh, obnoxious. Yeah, that's right.
and a little stinky, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't sniffing him. It wasn't obvious.
The guy next to me, I had to breathe. I would have passed out holding my breath.
I forgot we're going to battle squawking.
Oh boy.
I had the
Yes.
old
Oh,
one up.
that's right. That's right. Get the overlay for battle squawking.
I had the old one up at first, but
We
okay.
should come up with a song.
That would have to be a 80s hair metal song.
For
Oh, we
battle
did-
squawking.
we
We're gonna
did
have
nice.
more songs than we have content to talk
Or
about.
what if we had a takeoff on the Bee Gees jive talking, but it's battle squawking? Huh? I'm an ideas man.
That's why you're the special assistant and you get the least amount of money from the three of us.
That's right.
Still waiting on
What is it you want to say about the Battlehawks?
Oh, you gonna tell us a story about your time at the last Battlehawks game?
Well, it was two Battlehawks games ago.
2 Battlehawks games ago.
Yeah.
Did you buy season tickets this season? or
No,
you just been going?
no, my dad bought them, and he called me and he said, "Hey, you want to go with me?" And I said, "Sure." And then we went, and it was fine. They won, and I know nothing about the Battlehawks or the UFL. I just watched it because it's football. The only player I know is AJ McCarron.
Mhm.
And I realized that day that I don't have enough time to worry about the Battlehawks as well.
That's funny. Yeah, I have not since I had season tickets last year, and I went to every game. Actually, technically, Chris and I had season tickets last year, but you went to like
I went to
one or two
two, I
games.
think. Yeah.
So I just kept buying the tickets off him. But it's fun. It's a fun
The
thing
boys
to watch.
liked it.
The boys liked it. It is fun to watch. It's 40,000 people, 30,000 people, 40,000 people screaming for their team. I think it's cool, right? It's got a good energy
Yeah.
there. But I'm the same. I'm not like following it. I know their record is 4-1 because I look it up, right? They slaughtered the DC Defenders 45-12 to go 4-1 on the season. So if I can find the damn graphic, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
There it went. When this
Look,
is
quick.
from this is from the Battlehawks official page. When your team name is literally the Defenders, but you allow 45 points to give the Battlehawks the largest margin of victory in franchise history, and it shows this, I guess, is a new thing in memes because we had the Angel Hernandez one that was a iPhone, like an iPhone screen grab too. But it's like you're getting a phone call and it says potential fraud and it's got the Defenders logo on it. And
They're
so
fraudulent.
They're fraudulent.
Implying.
Yes, because they didn't defend shit.
They didn't defend at all.
And then their tagline under it says "Block this caller." I thought it was pretty funny.
It is funny.
They're 4-1. The Birmingham team on the UFL side is 5-0. But a lot of people are saying that really, did you see the game that they lost? The kicker on the other team kicked like a 60-something yard field goal. It's pretty ridiculous to win that game.
I did not.
So they should the Battlehawks could very well have been 5-0 if that guy just would have missed that kick. And actually, he made it twice because there was either a timeout or they were either icing him or something. But
they iced him.
They play the 1-4 Roughnecks at the Dome at 2 p.m. on Saturday if you're going.
I watched a little bit of the game this past weekend when Battlehawks won, and they listed the odds to win the championship, the UFL championship this year, and Birmingham's number 1 and Battlehawks were number 2. So all the Battlehawks have to do is make it to the final game, and it's played in St. Louis, right?
In St. Louis, and I think that would be. And Birmingham has won the UFL.
I thought you were going to say all they have to do is make it to the final game and win it, and then they're champions. Like, yep.
Well, of course,
that's how that works.
But it would be cool to have home field.
The team that scores the most points usually wins the game. So, there is something that we talked about. We've been talking about, been joking about. People have been joking with me about when it comes to football. One time, once in my life, I only said it once ever. Since like all the Major League Baseball uniforms are made by Nike Fanatics, right?
Yeah.
All the hockey uniforms are also made by Fanatics now. I just kind of assumed and made the assumption that all the helmets in football should be made by the same manufacturer because why would they get to pick it? I guess I wasn't thinking like, oh, they get to wear whatever shoes they want. I was thinking more like it's part of the uniform. Their uniforms all made by the same company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just asked once ever in my life to Chris and Aaron, said, don't you think it's weird that NFL players get to pick their own helmets? Because really they should just be part of the uniform. They should just probably pick the safest helmet. Mm-hmm. And they've laughed at me and said that I ask this question every time I see a football helmet ever.
I mean, before the joke.
What?
Yeah. I said before it became a joke. Yeah, that happened. Like more than once.
Once. It happened one time ever.
More than once.
Would you say a plethora of times?
Yeah, I'd say a plethora.
Mm-hmm.
What's more than a plethora? An abundance of time.
A journeyman of time.
Of time.
So I saw this. I thought this was really interesting.
But they get to pick their own shoes. They don't all wear the same shoes.
I understand, but the helmet is part of the uniform.
So are the shoes. You're not in uniform if you're not wearing shoes.
So do baseball players get to wear? They have different brands of batting helmets.
Yeah, I believe they do.
They have different brands of hats. Different brands of
No,
hats.
the hats are all made by New Era because MLB has a contract with New Era.
Right. So I just assumed that NFL had a contract with Safety Helmets Are Us, and that's what they all wore. And apparently that's not true.
Sounds low budget.
However, the NFL on Fox announced, the NFL football operation announced to reduce player risk and continue driving innovations in equipment technology, Guardian caps have been authorized for in-game use this season.
Cool.
What do you
I
guys
wonder
think?
I'm curious how many people are going to wear them.
So this is what they look like. It's a impact reducing soft shell helmet cover. And a lot of people said, well, why would you wear that? Because now you're covering up the logo. And it doesn't look cool.
They will eventually have them with the logos on.
They'll eventually airbrush the logo or whatever on the printed on the side.
Do you think they'll make everyone start wearing them?
I don't think they'll make people wear them. No.
I bet you in 5 years, all the new players will have to wear them, and anyone who's been in the league earlier than that,
I could see that.
they'll be grandfathered in.
Yep.
I could see that. They wear these all the time in preseason, not the preseason games, but during camps and stuff, because the guys on Hard Knocks always have them on their heads.
But now they're allowing them in games, and I think it's cool.
You guys have
good
never,
idea.
I don't think they look cool. I think they look dumb.
Well,
but I think the idea of another way to be safer is
without. Well, like Aaron said, if we can prevent more people from having CTE and stuff, then why not?
Mm-hmm.
Sean says probably very few. How many wore the MLB pitcher caps? Yes, you are correct, Sean.
The trick is going to be to get these to be cool. Once you make them cool and like acceptable and normal, this will be the new norm, I think. But I think that's going to be a struggle.
But a lot of times, safety and stuff is things are changed against popular opinion in safety, and sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. Basically, the new hip drop tackle rule has made many people say that basically the defense can't defend in football anymore. There are some things that they're doing to, change the rules. I think something like this, equipment and innovation, is probably the better way towards a safer football.
I'd agree.
Football environment than rule changes that stifle the actual action of the game and the ability for the game to operate.
I have two questions. One's a non-serious question and one's a serious one. Non-serious question. Have you guys ever been in a situation where to feel safe, you wrapped it up twice?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. I was expecting a different answer. Serious question. Mike, would you encourage your boys to use these helmets if they played football?
Absolutely. I would.
Okay.
They want to play football really bad. They want to play both tackle and flag. But they are playing.
I think you're going to see these utilized 100% across like Little League football.
I think this will be standard Little League, Pee Wee League, Pee Wee Little, Pop Warner, up to high school, college, club level football will all have that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like I said, I'd rather see safety come from innovation than from rule changes that stifle the way the game goes.
I agree. Anybody watch the draft?
I did not. I listened to some of it. I heard there was a lot of hype. Atlanta, what the heck are they thinking?
Atlanta took Michael Penix at 9, I think. Pick 9.
A quarterback when they just signed Kirk Cousins to $110 million deal.
Yeah,
guaranteed?
I mean, I get what they're doing. Yeah, there's a need. There's a need because Kirk Cousins.
No, I said guaranteed. Sorry.
Oh, guaranteed. I'm sorry. I see what they were doing.
If they want to go,
it was a little shocking because I think they would have been better. There were quarterbacks that could have been had in the second round.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do the Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre or Justin Fields, right? Justin Fields, Brett Love, not Brett Love.
Jordan Love.
I worked with a guy at Guitar Center named Brett Love. I worked with a guy named Brett Love.
It would be Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Thank you. If it's that situation, then yes, then I get it. But
Well, and
I
he
think
does get to sit there and back up Kirk Cousins for a year or two, but there's
at
no
9?
guarantee.
at 9, at
Yeah,
pick 9.
that's the interesting bit is that they picked him so high. They could have taken Roma Dunze from Washington at that pick and had their future wide receiver and taken Spencer Rattler in the second round or someone else.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they could have used that pick, and that's what everyone says. Obviously, I mean, and I'm not a big, as we all know, I'm not a big NFL fan anymore because after the Rams were stolen from St. Louis. But I don't know, man. Everyone's been saying that's a weird pick, and I agree. And if you saw, did you see the video? That you can't hear the words, but you see the video of after they made the pick, the owner came down and was talking to the GM, and you can kind of see the GM with talking with his hands, like how he's trying to justify why they made this pick. And I'm like, if you ever start talking to your boss, like the way he was doing this and like this, and it like he's in trouble.
Your ass is in trouble.
He is in trouble. Absolutely.
There was 23 offensive players drafted in the first round the other night. Did you see it, Mike? I don't know. What's
so
that? She told you that?
She showed it to me.
Okay.
And then an hour later, I showed it to her and said, "Hey, did you see this?"
That sounds like Mike. That sounds like something you would do.
And she's like, "Yeah, I did see this. I did see that, Mike.
That sounds
Mike,
exactly like something that you would do." But yeah, 23 offensive players in the first round. I think it was the most ever, maybe. But defense went super late. So the second round was a big defensive day. The Colts got defensive tackle or defensive end and edge rusher. Latu from Washington, or no, UCLA. He was the interesting thing is he was retired, medically retired from Washington. Wow. And I guess he went into the transfer portal and went to UCLA, and they checked him out, and they're like, "Yeah, you seem fine. I had a great senior year." The Colts medical team, I'm sure, was like, "Yeah, you seem fine." So I feel like they were being overly cautious. But Latu on the end, so they're the Chiefs did get Tyreek Hill too. Xavier Worthy from Texas, fastest 40 time I think ever, like a 4.240.
To the rich go the spoils, man.
Yeah. So the Colts got their defensive end. Their defensive front four is I think Aaron's making fun of you, but their defensive front four is Kwity Paye.
What
to the victor go the spoils.
To the victor go the spoils is the
I didn't say anything.
To the victor go the spoils is the saying. But what I'm saying is
the rich
they're
get
already
richer.
They're already the rich.
Sean, are you not a Chiefs fan? He's a Bills fan. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I'm with you, man. I hate the Chiefs, and I hate seeing them get anybody that's good. So
to the victor gets the richer. I think that's the saying.
Yes, that's it.
The rich get richer.
The rich get the victors.
Yes, there you go. But yeah, we've got the Colts have Kwity Paye, DeForest Buckner, and Latu now on the front four. I'm excited about the Colts defense. They did get the other Texas wide receiver, A.D. Mitchell, in the second round. And then they traded some picks. They shored up their offensive line. They ended up with 5 picks in the 5th round. And one of the guys they picked was a cornerback from Mizzou.
Cool.
Speaking of, Mizzou had 6 guys drafted.
Yeah, I was going to say
draft.
Nice. I was going to say, and there's like Mizzou's like the second or third college in I don't know the specific stat, but it's very something along the lines of like over the last 20 years, they're like the second or third in line of how many people they've had drafted in the first round over that time. Like 9. They've had like 9 people drafted in the first round, and that's like second in all of college football.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Over that time.
Cody Schrader got signed. Technically,
yeah, he was an undrafted free agent signing. Yeah. Harrison Mevis probably will also get signed.
Whatever that period of time is. In the stat, they're like second with 9. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So yeah, in the 5th round, one of their 5th round picks, they took Jalen Carleys, who they have listed as a linebacker. I think he's a safety for Mizzou, but whatever. He's gonna play with the Colts, so that's exciting.
Very cool. So what you got about us? We're gonna move on. We're running out of time. Aaron, City Soccer, what you got?
They were off last week. They are in Houston this weekend, I believe. Question mark. And then back at home in the Lou on 5/11. So we'll be seeing them then. You guys had a graphic about Celio, I believe. Yeah, signing an extension. I think you can tell in interviews and like social media stuff that the city puts out on Facebook, you can tell he likes being here. So I like this for them. I like it for him.
I like it for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's grown on me. At first I'm like, I don't know about this guy, Pompeo guy. I don't know about him, but he's grown on me. And that goal he scored, the last goal he scored is like a goal of the year contender for me. But yeah, happy. Good for him.
Happy.
Pretty cool. Awesome. We're gonna move on.
Now listen to me, Aaron. Don't feel so sad. It'll be the best blues minute you've ever had. Aaron, don't feel so sad. It'll be the best blues minute you've ever had. You've ever had.
What you got?
I got nothing on the Blues.
Now listen to me, Aaron. Don't feel so bad.
I mean, that was like an attempt at a blues minute. It was pretty mediocre if you think about it. I mean, to be honest, like Chris and I spent all our time, effort, energy into making this a professional podcast, and this is what you give us. Did you even do any research for this? Oh my God, Chris, do we even want him to do this anymore? For real, like that was pretty awful.
That outro is so long.
We can change it. I can shorten
It's hilarious.
I can shorten it. But yeah, that was planned.
It's longer than
Everybody.
the intro.
That was planned. Everybody. He didn't have anything. I just thought that was funny.
It's funny. It will always be funny.
Yes.
So those of you who've been watching and listening to us, you know that this is called The Worst Fans of Sports. It's called The Worst Fans of Sports because there's a lot of them. The BFIB, the best fans in baseball, as they're called. They like to get in these posts and they like to just say dumb, stupid things. Normally it's fire Marmo, fire Mo,
Impeach
Mozo
Mo.
the clown, impeach Mo. Okay, but they also say really other stupid things. Words are hard. They say a lot of other stupid things. Like yesterday, the Cardinals put out. You can't really read it. I can't read it either. But due to the forecast in inclement weather tonight, the Cardinals game at Comerica Park has been postponed. You know, because they knew there was going to be a lot of rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get in some comments. First guy says, "Great news, Cardinals. The Cardinals can't lose tonight."
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's right.
Great news. Actually, yeah, there it is. It's backwards. Great news, the Cardinals. The Cardinals can't lose tonight.
He didn't do a very good job articulating that, but he was not wrong.
And then he was told that people who aren't real fans can still comment. Someone says you sound like a Cubs fan, and he went back and said, "From two to bottom, GM to coach to all the 30-plus-year-old in their own 7th, 8th inning of their THERE careers, it's hard to watch. One question: where are all the pitchers we have drafted in the last 7 years? There seems to be nothing in the pipeline. Need a major overhaul."
Yeah, so he lost me there.
Yeah.
There are pitchers. Have you ever heard of Tink Hence? Our boy
There's
Tink Hence?
this is quite a Tink Hands. There's quite a few pitchers.
Michael
in the pipeline.
McGreevy, Gordon Gracefo,
They
Cooper Zerpe.
We've
Should I
already
keep going.
We've already talked about it. The reason why there's that gap in pitching is we traded our pitching prospects for outfielders after Oscar Taveras died because we needed outfield, because we had great pitching. On the major league staff, we had no hitting. We traded pitching for offense. That offense didn't work out. His name is Marcelo Ozuna.
He's crushing in Atlanta.
Oh, of course he is, but he was not. He was good here, but he wasn't great here. And we also didn't have to deal with the whole domestic violence thing. Like the Cardinals would not have flown with the Cardinals anyway. He would have been gone after that. So yeah. So the reason why there was no pitching for that short period of time is because they got rid of prospects to get major league people to play for offense. We traded pitching for offense. Then we did the exact opposite, and that's where we are now.
You want to talk
Okay.
about a team that doesn't have a farm? It's the Astros. A buddy of mine's an Astros fan, and we were talking the other day about the Astros, and because of the cheating scandal and everything, they lost all those draft picks. They
Yep.
have no farm,
Oh yeah.
and so they've got it way worse.
This is their window. This is their window. Unless they start trading some of these people soon. Like this is their window now. Unless they start trading some of these people soon to build up prospects or build up draft picks, they are going to be hurting in the next 5 years.
Yep.
This person says this means we get to lose 2 games in a row.
Didn't happen, loser.
And originally he wrote loose, Loose, loose.
No, he edited his comment.
And then he edited his comment. And then someone said grow up, and then he said get real.
Oh,
Which I think is funny.
Get real.
the banter is great. Oh, I forgot to blur that fella's name.
Oh, that's all
Who
right.
cares?
Sounds like schools and snow days. Well, it might snow tomorrow, so we're canceling classes. Roll eyes.
Well, that's because they have the alternative learning now. Of course,
Right.
they're going to do that.
And then the Cardinals will not lose today.
Lot lose.
Lot lose. Will not
I don't
lose.
know. I don't know what that
But,
means.
the fact that there's some kind of like toxic masculinity, like you got to be a man and play in the rain. What does it matter? Why do you care? Why do you care so much that you're so upset? It's like school nowadays. I got into a conversation with a guy. It happened today, and I don't know if I'll bring it up on here, but it was about war. And someone posted on Smash About Baseball how war is useless. And I posted, well, if you don't understand something, that's why you think it's useless. Excuse me. And had a guy go back and forth with me about, he's like, well, no one's ever able to tell us what the formula is. So I literally posted the formula. And he goes, well, all the things that are in that formula are just made up. And I said, no, they're mathematically.
They're
like,
objective statistics.
Yeah. And so he got moving the goalpost in the argument. And then so his last thing in the argument was, people who like war are the same type of people who think a cloth mask and 6 feet will keep you from getting COVID. I'm just going to laugh at you like I did them.
I don't understand how those two things correlate.
So several times I said, I'll enjoy baseball the way I enjoy it and you enjoy it the way you want to.
Yeah.
But on that one, I said, way to shoehorn politics into a conversation that had nothing to do with politics at all.
Yeah.
So
those two things don't correlate in my mind.
They don't. But that's it. That's what we got. It's been an hour 17. I think we need to let everyone go to sleep.
Go to sleep, everybody.
Go to sleep.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Audio will be out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We'll try and do a better job of promoting that audio and sharing it. We've done pretty bad.
We have. But you can always come here and listen and watch this again.
Hey, those guys that were complaining about the rain out, they didn't get the drop. So how about right now? They get the drop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got to find the drop. What are they getting?
The drop.
Fans in sports.
Yeah. That.
There it is. Hey, I did it only once this time.
Good job.
I
You're
just did
learning.
it.
You're
I'm
learning.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
We'll see y'all
ya.
later. Bye.
They eat